Our next topic of conversation today, I'm back with John Maxwell Taylor, and we're talking about how to avoid trying people. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to this segment today.
I don't think anybody wakes up in the morning and says, today I will be an energy vampire and go out the door looking for trouble. But when a person is under a cloud of depression, negative emotion and so forth, just the atmosphere, you can feel it. You're walking down the street and you see someone coming towards you, and you instinctively kind of go out of your way to avoid them a little bit. It's a kind of a gut feeling type of thing. And then of course when people speak, you can tell by the tone of voice or by the look in their eye whether they're in a positive or a negative frame of mind. I think what a lot of people try to do unconsciously is that they try to dump their garbage on other people. A lot of people are having a conversation in their own head with themselves all day long about some problem that's bothering them or some negative thing. And then when they find you available, they make you the external equivalent of that voice they hear in their head all the time. Now they're starting to dump it onto you. Well, my attitude to that is I'm not taking delivery of that. But of course, when you try to oppose somebody who's being negative by giving an opposite point of view, then sometimes you get caught in this dynamic where it begins to escalate. When, for example, if someone's being argumentative, they don't really want an answer to the question that they're throwing at you. They just want you to get on the carousel with them so they can take you off for a ride until they're kind of exhausted and want to move on from that. Well, it's very draining to do that with another person. So one of the things that I do, for example, is, again, it's the way that you look at people. If somebody is looking at me in a very negative way, suppose they're kind of in my face a little bit, and it's a kind of a crucial moment, and it would be rude of me to look away, and they might even say, why are you avoiding me? Why are you not looking at me? So I don't do that. What I do is I look in the white of their eyes, because then they can't transmit their negative energy from their brain through the pupil of my eyes into my brain. You know how powerful that is, that current of energy, for example, to give a positive point of view, when you're falling in love with someone and you just gaze into each other's eyes and this wonderful current of energy just flows between you. You can't take your eyes off that person. You're held by that magnetic connection between you. On the other hand, if someone's in an angry frame of mind and they're looking at you like that, you want to avoid that, because you don't want a transmission of their brain waves into your brain so that you're kind of vibrating on the same frequency. So what I do is I just disconnect. I look in the whites of their eyes, not staring, by the way. None of this eye business is, you don't stare at people. I think you're insane. You kind of look around, you work it into your normal mode of operation, but they can't intimidate you or connect or just dominate you. So that is very, very useful. And then what I will do sometimes, after that they've kind of let them exhausted themselves a little bit, then I will look away for a second. And then I will look back into their personality eye. It's different for right-handed, left-handed, dyslexic, etc. So we're talking about a right-handed person here. And then I'll just look like that into their personality eye. And the non-verbal message is, don't go there, I'm on to you. But I'm not getting caught up in it. And they will often go like that then, eyes back and forth like a pinball on tilt. And then I look into their trust eye, the trust eye, and they often will relax and want to connect because now it feels good. And you can do this with children. I was driving my friend's Cadillac in the rush hour traffic in Long Beach a few years ago, and I had his two kids, boy and girl, on the back seat. Boy's about 10, girl's about 7. And they were fighting, right? So we pull up to a stoplight, and I turn around and say, hey guys, don't do that, it's distracting, we don't want to have an accident. Well, they didn't stop, you know. So then I turned around, and I looked at Leah, the little girl, in her personality eye, and I said, Leah, I told you to knock that off. She says, you're a nerd, she said, right? So then, just before the light changed, I turned around and I looked at her again in her trust eye, where the real connection is. She's like this. She wanted to connect with me because she loves me, right? So she did not like to be away from me, and she felt the separation that, you know, if you let your kids run you ragged and dominate you, you're not doing them any favor. But yelling at them, you know, getting tough with them, it doesn't do. You just say in a very level voice, you say what it is that you want. I'd like you to go to your room now. While you look in that personality eye, and they may say, well, I don't like that, this, that, the other, but they will not be able to run you ragged. And then as soon as they're clear again, they want to connect, you look in the essence eye, and there's that flow. Well, grown-ups are just like, what are they? Grown-up children, although I'm sure you're familiar with the term kidult now, where they've got 45-year-old men who have the mentality, well, women too sometimes, but mainly men. These are who the movies are made for, these crazy movies with kids getting into all kinds of trouble. It's that mentality, but in a 40-odd-year-old person. So you're dealing with an immature adult who's not got social skills, and this, that, the other, and maybe trying to run games on you. Well, if you do the same thing with them. It works every time. I could go on and on about these different scenarios, stories I've been in, situations where it could even be dangerous, like a guy with road rage, for example, leapt out of his car and started pounding on my window and wanted to get at me, and because maybe I'd cut him off, I don't know what it was, but he was really uptight about something. There was no reasoning with him, so I did the thing with the eyes with him, and he ran away. So it's very powerful. Like I say, it's very Obi-Wan Kenobi. So if you want to be a Jedi in the 21st century, this is what you need. The power of I Am. Not just the book, but get the principles it's talking about inside you.